Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today we're doing another Women of Horror Spotlight. Today I have with us, she's a director and writer, and she has an amazing anthology web series up right now. I have the pleasure of seeing it. It's up on YouTube, so go down in the description, click that link, and check it out and subscribe. And it's called Vault 13. I have with us Rashay Robinson. Rashay, welcome to the Horror Room.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
It's a pleasure having you on.
Thank you.
So, tell us a little bit about Vault 13.
So, Vault 13 is an horror anthology. I created it just to add a little bit of everything, every aspect in horror. So, vampires, paranormal experiences, psychological thrillers, stalking, all that stuff. I compacted in an anthology series. I wanted to touch every aspect of horror. So, that's why I created it and I started writing it. Love it.
You also star in it as well.
Yes. Yeah.
I had a chance to see the first episode, and it's pretty deep and disturbing. Now, did you base any of this off of real life experience?
Well, not really. Everything. I'm kind of a sicko for horror. So these ideas kind of pop up in my head, and I have to grab a pen and paper and write it down, or jot on my phone some notes and just write it down. And these sick ideas come in my head all the time. I've been writing horror stories, like 3-subject notebook books, since I was 12, and my sisters used to read it.
Wow.
So it's these things just come to me and I just jot it down really fast. But I do have a lot of paranormal experiences in real life as well. That's another subject.
Oh, see, now I'm gonna have you on for my other show, which is the Paranormal Experience, to talk about that.
Oh,
yes. Now, because there's one story in the first episode, and it's about stalking. And I feel like something that a lot of women go through in this country, world, wherever. And you did a great job on making this seem so lifelike.
Right. Simply because experiences from other people too, and just being a woman in general, you have those interactions where it's kind of what's going on here kind of thing. And sometimes you're in uncomfortable, circumstances and situations that can become a little creepy. So, like you said, kind of real life in a sense. So that's why I tried my best to keep it realistic in that way. So you could feel it, you could feel the creepiness,
Yeah. Now you said you just come up with these ideas. I was telling somebody on a previous interview, I was like, I come up with great ideas through nightmares. Do you ever have nightmares and you're like, oh my goodness, this is a great horror story?
Oh my God, all the time. I have night terrors that I've been suffering from since I was a kid. So yeah, same, absolutely same. Since I was a kid, I've been having night terrors and nightmares. So absolutely. And I have some oh my God, that would be a great horror story. I understand where you're coming from. Yeah.
And was there ever you were like, boy, this is a great horror story, but I don't think that the world is ready for this one?
Yes. I came up with some in my head, nightmares. That's it's kind of corny, but it kind of makes sense too. Like vampires versus zombies. I remember I had a dream about that.
That's fun.
Which is really cool, but it's kind of corny at the same time. But it's I would like to see that, you know what I mean? But I dreamt that, and I'm like, So that's just one example.
I had a black woman filmmaker on, and I gave her one of my ideas. I said, when it comes to black college culture, we're so into sororities and fraternities. How come there has not been a black sorority fraternity horror film?
That's a good question. That's an excellent question. I don't know. That's an excellent question. I myself never joined a sorority.
Neither.
I'm not a sorority girl. Went to college, but not the sorority type. I'm a loner.
Same here. And the other reasons too, because I'm like you. I'm a loner as well. I like to stay to myself, but I don't want to. when I was in college, I was like, boy, it doesn't sound fun to be hanging around a bunch of dudes all the time. That
Right.
never sounded like a fun thing to me.
Same. I'm the oldest of 5 girls. So imagine that. I've did my share fair of sorority
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, right.
Right.
So, what were some struggles that you ran into? Because I've had a lot of individuals, they're thinking about making their first series movie, and they don't know what to expect. What were some struggles that you ran into or challenges when it came to just filming your first episode?
So challenges, I would say. So I've been putting this on the back burner for like 2 years now. I ran through a stream of ideas like, should I make this into like a book, series? Should I do this? Should I do that? But I act also. So the challenge was like the decisions and procrastination, I feel like, in a sense. And one day I'm like, you know what? It's never going to get done until I just start. And I feel like that holds a lot of people back, just starting. A lot of people think that it has to be perfect, soon as, no, start and then learn from the imperfections, learn from the mistakes. And as you go on and keep going, I noticed that my editing skills now, with my shorts are so much better than when I first started. And they were pretty good when I first started, but now I'm like, oh, wow, I'm getting better and better and better as time goes on. So I just feel like, just getting your feet in there, getting your feet wet, just start, man. Just don't stop procrastinating. That was the biggest challenge for me.
I 100% agree. Please don't watch any of my first episodes on this YouTube channel
Okay.
because I just jumped in, like, and I agree. You just jump in, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. At one
Right.
point, I had a crazy green screen in the back. Like, I'm like, no, this is
Right. But just start and keep going.
hmm
It gets better and
and
better and better.
it really does. And you kind of over time, you kind of learn your little niche. Okay,
Right.
this is my style, and this is I like the lights this way,
Right.
and it just becomes second nature.
Automatically. Yeah, it does. It does. I definitely know how to record, like what angles to get now, what shots to get now. When I first did my first horror short, I did it on a whim. So I was dog sitting at my sister's house, and I remember writing this short story, and I'm like, you know what? Let me just record this. It was me just by myself, psychological thriller. Um, and I just set up my tripod and just started recording. And then I'm like, it came out pretty good. A lot of people, I got a lot of good feedback from it. I feel like the editing wasn't that good as I like it
hmm
now, but I started it and now I'm comfortable with the process, basically.
Now, why do you feel like not so many black women decide to go into horror film? I mean, because the world is a horror film for a black woman in this country.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like a lot of us are just not in horror because we have so much things going on that's traumatizing in a sense
Yeah,
that we
yeah.
try to probably stray away from that, instead of going towards it. And a lot of us do. Like my mom is one of them. She's like, I don't want to see that. Like, I don't want to see that stuff. She's like, no, it scares me. So it's like, I feel like we like go into romantic films or something to make us feel good. With me, like I said, I'm a sicko. I put on Scream to feel good. So I'm like, I'm different
hmm
than everybody else. But I probably that I'm making like a psychological, analysis on that. Maybe that could be it. Like you said, the world is already a horror film for Black women, and maybe we try to get away from that and lighten our situation.
Because it's rare to even run into black women just on the street that are into horror. Like,
Yeah.
it's the one genre. And I grew up, so the way I got into horror, my mom was a big horror fan, and at 5 years old, most people were watching what's it called, Wizard of Oz or something. I was watching that guy over there, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It scared the shit out of me. So, like,
Right.
But but like it seems like the and my two sisters they're big into horror. My older sister took me to see Jason Go to Hell and Halloween when I was a kid. So
Yeah.
like and I just the older I've gotten, I've noticed that like black women usually I didn't notice, but they kind of stay away from horror films.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Not me. I feel like the first time I fell in love with kind of horror was like a kid, like I was saying, when I picked up a book at the bookstore, which was Goosebumps. And then, I started reading and I started creating my own stories in my head and started writing my own stories. And then looking at the Goosebumps series on TV and then Tales from the Crypt, that anthology series too. And then it just built on and on from there. And then I gained a love for slashers. I'm a big Scream franchise, girl. So that kind of like I've seen like almost every horror movie ever, and and nothing doesn't really phase me, anymore because I've seen it all. So that I just fell in love with it as a kid.
It's an amazing thing.
Yeah,
I feel like it's one of those genres you have to start off as a kid
you have
watching it
to. Yes,
to appreciate it.
yes.
Whatever
You
it
can't
is.
just jump in as an adult because it won't be
Yeah,
the same.
exactly.
Yeah.
Now, so who is that person? Who is that person that you finish a project, or or you have an idea for a project that you run it past first?
My sister, she's a huge horror fan like me. And, I send her everything and I'm like, hey, look at this. Does this look good? How does this sound? How does this? And she like reads over it and she like looks at it before I, would edit it or post it. And she's like, okay, this is good, but maybe you can change this and maybe you can. So she gives me like the last finished touches or commentary on my stuff, my work.
Now, does being an actress also help you behind the camera?
Oh yes, absolutely. Because I'm comfortable with being an actress, so that and memorizing my own lines helps a lot because I know what I wrote. So it comes a lot easier to me too. And I always wanted to be in a horror film, and I never got that. I never got casted for it yet. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make my own horror shorts and star in my own, horror series. So that came to my mind, and I'm like, yeah, that would be cool.
Now, right now you're doing shorts.
Yes.
Is your ultimate dream to do a full length feature horror
Yes.
film?
Yes. I'm going to start doing features. I want to start writing one in the spring of this year and maybe start recording in the fall of a thriller slash horror. So it will be a thriller slash horror film that I'm thinking of. I want to do it. I know it's a lot of work and it's totally different from shorts, but I have to put in the time and the effort to complete it. And that's what I want to do. So, yeah.
Because I say this all the time when I meet a filmmaker that do shorts. I can imagine it's tougher to do a short than a full length feature
Really?
because you have a short period of time to get that beginning, middle, and end
Mhm.
for the audience compared to a full length feature. You have an hour and a half, 2 hours to build the character development, the story. In a short, you got to boom, boom, boom. Here
Right.
you fucking go, Yeah.
It's true. For me, I feel like it's the opposite because uh, you can execute it how you want it first. And I always think of, and I'm weird because when I write down something, like I said, when I get an idea, I just jot it down, but I don't finish it. So I go back to it and I think about the ending first. So I think about the execution. What do I really want the audience? Do I want it to be creeped out? Do I want them to be scared or just thinking like, what the heck did I just watch? Like, what do I want them to convey from this? So I write down little notes and then I want the execution. So I write the ending first and then I build
Interesting.
on it. Yeah, it is. It's weird. So with me, a feature film would be kind of harder for me because if I
Yeah.
if I write the ending first, then I have to go back and like set the story up. That would be kind of tough.
And ending might change at that point too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I feel like that would be a little bit tougher for me.
Do you ever sit back and be like, wow, I must be a little weird because I'm coming with all these sick, crazy thoughts and wait for people to die. And
Absolutely. I know that I'm a weirdo. I claim it. I claim it. I tell people that all the time when they meet me. I'm a little weird. Hi, I'm a little, weird. I've always been like that since I was a kid, but I'm grateful for who I've become too because I feel like it made me more creative. Being by myself, being, watching horror, it made me more like, I don't know, it made me create more instead of, going outside and playing with friends. I didn't have any friends, so I sat back and write stories, sat back and write miniature horror stories, sat back and read books. So that kind of stuff made me who I am today. So I'm a weirdo. I admit
love it. Love it. Well, you're the horror realm, so you filled with all horror weirdos.
Yes. Right.
Now, for the audience, how many episodes are we playing? Right now, episodes 1 is up on YouTube,
Yes.
on your channel. How many episodes are we going to expect in the first season?
I want it to be 6 episodes so far. I want it to be 13 altogether. So I want to record 6, take a little break, then record 6 more, and then like a bonus episode for Halloween. So that's what I'm aiming for. So 13 episodes for Vault 13. So that's what I'm trying to aim for, hopefully.
Now, how long does it take you to film between episodes?
I give it like I try to film 2 episodes a week. Like I try to. Yeah, I try to. If everybody's at that point.
How do you find time? How do you find time between acting and also working on your own projects?
Well, acting can be a little slow sometimes. So, when you don't have those audition callbacks and things get a little slow, that's when I put in time and effort to film because I just love filming. I love being on camera. I love being off camera. I just love being on set. The set in general with the camera in my hand, in front or behind, I love it. Like it's a passion of mine. Like I have to do it. So it thrives me when I'm on the camera and off the camera. Like even working with other actors. I came in, 2 actors were doing a short for me just about 3 days ago, and just giving them tips and things and just making it look like how it looks in my head. It was so satisfying. It was like, wow, like this is coming out exactly how I pictured it. So yeah, it's like it's a passion.
So as a actress, so you've been doing this for a while.
Yes.
You don't mind working with new actors and actresses?
No, I don't, because I was a new actor at one point. So. And I could tell them, like I said, I can guide them, give them the tips, make them feel comfortable as possible, and make them have fun too. Because it's all about being comfortable and having fun on set. If you can't laugh, I feel like if it's too tense, then you'll be a little uncomfortable and shy. So I try to make it, a laughing environment and fun.
Love it. All right. Listen, I'm going to do something that I do every once in a while with my guests on my show. I'm going to ask you 3 random horror questions. These are your personal opinions.
Okay.
All right. First one. If Hollywood came up to you right now, let's say Blumhouse or someone, and they were like, listen, we want you to take an established IP, Jason, Freddy, whoever, and we want you to reboot it, which one would it be and why?
Lost Boys.
I fucking love that. That's my favorite vampire movie.
My favorite vampire movie. Yes, Lost Boys. I would like to see a reboot of Lost Boys. Like with
actually doing
actors.
I think they're actually doing that, but
really?
And I'm fucking scared that I'm scared it's gonna be bad though.
I hope not. Not.
I'm terrified it's gonna be bad.
It's terrifying because that's my favorite vampire movie. So they do it correctly and execute it right. Oh man, that would be awesome. Awesome. Yeah.
Okay, second question. Which horror movie series are you done with? You're like, please stop. Or franchise, as you said.
That I'm just done with.
Mm-hmm.
Chucky the series. I started it. I got into it, and then I'm like, no, this isn't working. It's not
It
working out.
actually got canceled. It actually
You got
got
canceled?
canceled. So yeah, so you got
Oh
your wish.
my god.
I like Chucky. I mean, Chucky's on my wall. We're over here.
I
So
love Chucky. I
I
love
like the little
Chucky's
guy.
movie. Yeah.
I don't like all his movies. I mean, I do like. I think Chucky got a little cartoonish over the
Over
sequels.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, and he stopped being his menacing self, and
Right.
you saw in the first 3 movies.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, and that reboot was terrible.
Terrible. Terrible.
Terrible.
Oh my god.
That wasn't Chucky.
It was a
That was not
robot,
Chucky.
wasn't it? Like an AI thing?
Yes,
Yeah, that was.
yes, that was not Chucky.
Yeah.
Final question: which horror movie villain do you feel like you relate to the most? I'm not saying you got to be killing people. Mostly if
Okay.
you are, but who do you feel like you relate to?
Relate to the most. It has to be a horror movie villain. Okay.
Mm-hmm. You see where they're coming from.
That's a tough question. That's a tough question. I have no clue. You got me stuck. Stop. I have no clue. Horror movie villain. Wow.
All right, I'll ask you a different question.
Okay.
What was the first horror movie you saw that really scared the shit out of you?
Scared the crap out of me. Poltergeist.
How
I
old
was
were you?
kid. Yeah. Poltergeist. I was probably 8 years old, 7 years old. Poltergeist scared the crap out of me because I always thought that I would be sucked in the TV like a little girl and a ghost would be haunting my house. It was just creepy for me as a kid. And I'm scared of thunder and lightning. And I remember the scene distinctly with the thunder and lightning with the tree brushing against the little boy's window. And they're like, 1,000, 2, 1. And I still do that to this day, basically. So that movie scared the crap out of me.
And that was a terrifying movie. They don't make movies like that anymore.
They don't. That was a great movie.
Great movie. All right. So where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram, glowup_with You can find me on YouTube. My page is RRR Works. That's where I'm going to be posting all my horror shorts on that page. So there you go.
And the link to her YouTube is right down in the description. So once again, please watch, subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff.
Yes, please.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Thank
Rashay, it's been a blast having you on. You're more than welcome to come back on anytime.
Thank you so much. Have me on for the paranormal stories. I got some stories for you.
Yeah. I'm also going to have you, I'm going to be doing it. By the way, for everybody listening, I am going to be having, so I do the Indie Horror Roundtable show live every other month. So in the near future, in the next couple months, there's going to be a Black Women of Horror Filmmakers Roundtable live show. So I would love to have you on for that.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
It's my pleasure to be on. Absolutely.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you for coming to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Take care.